Welcome to Engineering 100. This is Robert Mitchell, and I'm going to go over an example of how to develop a pivot table. This pivot table question will be: which project manager had for the year the most projects on time and on budget and had the highest total funds expended? Let me share with you how this example works and scored. Up at the top you find a place for your name. I'll put my middle initials or my initials, and notice that once I hit return, the score changes and now you have gained the 5 points just for putting your name. Your name would then be transferred over to any worksheets or any score sheets necessary. There's a total of 25 points for this example. This assignment score, as the assignment is completed, you'll see it on the block. The score will be verified after submitting into Canvas. Let's read the instructions. The pre-established Problem 1 pivot table worksheet uses the data on worksheet data to complete Problem 1 by developing the pivot table to the minimum amount of information, which includes filtering the fields. Complete the problem in the order presented, such as completing A, then B, and upload the workbook to Canvas. Next, insert your name within the yellow merged cells. I've already done that. Place the problem within bracketed merged cells. We'll show that in a minute. Place the answers within the designated cells. Number 5, upload a single file titled Assignment 8 with your initials at the end. 6, develop, filter, and highlight all information associated with the answer for each table. Note, grade will be posted as the assignment is reviewed and certified on Canvas. This is your score, and it will advance as you enter data. Let's look at the data. Here is a sheet, has over 500 lines, rows to it, and there are 10 columns across, so that's over 5,000 pieces of data. There are no breaks in it. There are no extra rows or columns as I scroll down. Alright, as I go back up to the top, let me point out to you one very important column, and that's this one. The very first one in column A, it is all ones. That is how pivot tables counts. So if you do not have this column, the pivot tables will not be able to count for you. All right, let's go over and look at our assignment and worksheet. Now the worksheet is pre-established for you so that data goes into specific cells, and that way the automatic grader can count it. Notice there's a blue dotted area up here at the top. That is the location for your assignment. My initials have transferred over automatically. Let's go get the assignment. Here back on the first page worksheet. Click. When I hit copy, go back over to my problem. Click on my merge cells and paste it. It's a little small, so I'm going to increase it by 1 font size. Notice, because we entered that, we have 1 point already. Let's start making our pivot table. Let's read the assignment. Which project manager had for the year? Alright, so we want to click on project manager. Notice we advanced 2 points. And you have a list of project managers over here on the left-hand side. The project manager had for the year the most projects. Well, if that's the case, then we're going to need to count because it's looking for a number. Notice advanced on the score. Most projects on time and on budget. Go back over to our fields. We will click on time. We will go over to the down caret Here is our dialog box giving us the selections, and we're looking for on time, so we will unselect delayed and hit OK. Notice our list now has subtitles on time for each project manager with a set of numbers that associated with projects on time. We also want to go with on budget. So let's go to on budget. We click it. As budgeted or over budgeted information is provided, but we only want on budget. So as budgeted is what we want. We deselect over budget, click OK. We now have 10 points and we have a list. Pivot table is not a list, so we need to refine this a little bit. One of the ways to refine it is to take and place on time under filters. Score increased. You have a blue section up here, on time, and it's defined as on time. If you wanted to change that, you click on that little icon and you could readjust it. We don't want to do that, so let's get that out of the way. Now, the other item, on budget, we could take that to filters. Notice another line appears. And the only thing we see now is a list of project managers and the sum of their projects that are on time and as budgeted. However, notice that it is not in any kind of order, so we would manually have to go in and determine which project manager had the highest. Pivot tables helps us. We click on one cell, and it does not matter which cell you click on, in the column with the numbers. You right click, your dialog box shows up. There's a sort. You can sort smallest to largest, largest to smallest, and there's more options. Well, we're only looking for largest to smallest. So that just put everybody in order. So we have two people that have the same amount. Let's highlight those two individuals with yellow. Now, because we have two, and we still have to understand the highest total funds expended, all we can do is grab right now the sum of projects, and we can place that in our shaded block, and it's 31. Notice our score keeps going up. All right. Also notice that when you clicked on that cell, your fields on the right-hand side disappeared. So get them back. We just click inside of our pivot table, and there they are. Now the only thing we have remaining out of our question is highest total funds expended. We go over to our fields, and highest funds expended, it says actual cost, so we click on actual cost. Score increases. Field shows up in one of our areas in the 4 boxes, but it's not. We need to sort it largest to smallest. Notice that Carolyn Wolf dropped down the list where Susan Wood stayed at the top. So let's unhighlight Carolyn Wolf, go up, grab our dialog box, no fill. She is no longer highlighted. Susan Woods is still highlighted, so we click over Susan Woods, we right click, we copy, we go up to our project manager cell, we click on it, we right click. Now we do not want to lose the shading, so we just do the value and we put Susan Woods. Notice we are now 19 out of 20. We come back over and notice that these numbers are not formatted for dollars. So let's go over to our sum of actual, down at left click on it, Value field settings is the bottom of the dialog box. We click on it. Value field settings dialog box shows up. Number format, bottom left corner. We click on it. We click on currency. We do not care about pennies, so we get rid of that. And we click OK. And we click OK. And now our numbers are formatted with dollars. We go up to the top. We click on the dollar value. We right click. We copy. We go to our cell asking for the information. We click on it. We right click. Again, we want the value, not the information, just the value. And now we have 20 out of 20. If you wanted to, you could make this a little more fancy, but we still have a couple of places to highlight. Sum of projects and sum of actual cost needs to be highlighted. And on time and on budget were two additional criteria, so we have to highlight those. There we are. Whoops, those didn't highlight on for me, so let me do it again. If you want to make this a little more fancy, we could come up and highlight those two and make them a different color. Let's say a reddish color. Sum of projects. Let's do that in green. And let's do the sum of actual cost in, oh, let's choose a purple. All right. Now, because we're done, you submit it, you put your initials at the end. The instructor will unhide this grade sheet. Notice that this is what you submitted. This is the correct. So if you had something wrong over here, points were not 20 out of 20, you could compare and find out what you did not have in the right place. We have a list of what data is being looked for, the number of points awarded, the number of points you received, and because you made it a little more fancy, the instructor could come down and give you 5 extra points. Let's go back to the front page. Here's our total score, 30 out of 25. We had extra credit of 5, name was 5, problem 1 was 20. That concludes this presentation on accomplishing pivot tables for Engineering 100. I suggest that you watch this a couple of times, see what we're doing, and proceed on with your homework assignment.